Okay. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me this time. So we'll try this again. We're going to wait for a minute because I know I've confused the snooky out of everybody. For now you can see me and now you can't. So if you can see me, let me know you can hear me. Yay, I'm audible. Hooray, 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 hooray. All right, apologies to the folks on Instagram who have slipped through our little technical snafus. But hooray, we can hear me, we can see me. We can be back in communication, communicado with each other. That is lovely and wonderful. And hooray, hooray. We'll just give it another minute. Let a few more people come on in. Very, very happy to be back with you again. So I'm sorry to be late, very sorry to be late. I don't normally see clients on Mondays. It just makes the day a little too hectic. But as I'm leaving town tomorrow, I did need to see some people to be able to make sure we had everybody taken care of before we left. So right off the bat, let's talk about some big, exciting things are coming. So we have, starting in December, which is right around the corner because Thanksgiving is not this week but next week. So I'm very excited that we will be starting our podcast, our grief education, Beyond the Loss, Conversations in Grief Education and Healing, is going to be starting on December 2nd, Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm very excited for this. Really looking forward to sharing and helping people in a new way, and hope that you all will tune in for that. And then we have the Building Your Metaphysical Business class is going to be starting on December 3rd, starts on December 3rd, which is the Wednesday, and that's going to run for 3 weeks, and that links for that are on the Facebook page there through the Journey Within Spiritualist Church in New Jersey. And then in December, and again we have the Grief Education Podcast is going to be every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on Facebook on A1R Radio. And the links are already put on the Facebook page, and they'll be on the website as well after the holiday. And then we have the Grief Education Podcast. We have the Building Your Metaphysical Business. So if you are somebody who has well, I've gotten a bunch of training as a reader and a healer and a psychic or a medium or a Reiki master or whatever it is, that you are ready to start building your business and maybe start seeing some clients, this is a business building class to teach you A to Z how to build your metaphysical business. And then in January, also with the Journey Within Spiritualist Church in New Jersey, we will be teaching, and these classes are all online, so they're easy to find. You can go to journeywithin.org and click on classes and scroll down till you see my little face. In January, I'm going to be teaching getting to know your psychic self. So if you've been trying to figure out how to enrich and advance your psychic skills and expand your psychic abilities, this is a great class, especially if you're looking to expand your mediumship abilities. This is a great class to step into to get know yourself a lot better before you are seeing as you are moving in towards mediumship. So hello, Ruby. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Chris. Somewhere we lost Steve. I have faith he'll be back. So, okay, so there's a lot that's going on. And we're going to get the, so it's A1R, A1R Psychic Radio. This is where the podcast is going to be. And then this is, we've got journeywithin.org is going to be where you can find the Building Your Metaphysical Business and the psychic development classes. So very excited for all of that. So there is a lot that's going on in the next few weeks. So definitely pick your spot and tune in where it makes sense for you. And just know that I'm really excited and grateful to have you with me on the journey. Now, let me also say this. Mercury retrograde. I don't know if we even talked about it too much last week. I actually think we did. We talked about Mercury retrograde last week. And so still in Mercury retrograde. We're going to be in retrograde for this entirety of the month of November for the most part. And so if you are feeling a little anxious, because I'll tell you, yesterday, Sunday, I had this wave of anxiety came over me. I couldn't even figure out. I knew it wasn't mine. I didn't know where to put it. I didn't know what to do with it. And so when you have these things that come to you, know, first of all, that we are in retrograde. Okay. Know also that, now I live in Florida, there's a lot of rocket launches here, and the good kind, usually, the good kind, that will kind of take people, places, or satellites to space. These are not, Hamas rockets. These are space rockets. So we have a lot of rockets that launch from here, and so sometimes we get a lot of booms in the middle of the night, sonic booms, which can be very loud. But one of the things we also pay a lot of attention to here, especially in Central Florida, is solar storms, because solar storms, believe it or not, can have a very major impact on whether a rocket can launch or not. And so there was a rocket that was supposed to launch. It was last week. It was delayed a few days because of solar storms. Now, solar storms, if you've been following and seeing the Aurora Borealis out in Colorado and Milwaukee and places like that, we've been seeing the Aurora Borealis last week. That's part of the solar storms, okay? So these things are all connected, and when you are seeing these things in the news, one of the things you want to ask yourself is, how is this affecting me? How is this affecting me right now? Because we are made of energy. We are energy channels, all of us, whether you are someone who channels or not, we are all energy channels. We are all made of energy. We absorb energy. We take it in. We send it out. We process it. So when major explosions that happen on the sun, which is, the giant ball of gas that keeps our galaxy and our, solar system functioning, when those things explode and these expulsions of gas and energy, it is important that our space stations and our satellites and our rockets and stuff are paying attention to where these mass solar ejections and coronal ejections are happening. But at the same time, even if the lava of the sun and the gas and the material is staying in space, that energy still has somewhere to go. So let me show you this real quick. I always keep this in my drawer. I don't know why, because it just makes me laugh. And sometimes you just need to celebrate stuff. So I have this little blower in my drawer. Okay. Oh, sorry, I scared my dog. Sorry, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So with this, when you blow this, the things go out and they go, whoo, Smithy. So you can see them moving. So even though the air and the mass that was part of this coronal mass ejection, this solar flare, has gone, the energy of it is still going. So even though that stuff is not coming to Earth, the energy is. It's okay, buddy, you can sit down now. He's like, okay. The energy of it is. And so for we, who tend to be more sensitive to energies, there's a lot of stuff that's going in the air, in the energy, and so this is really important that we can be feeling this exacerbated by a super full moon that we just had, and then the Mercury retrograde. We can feel this kind of way, all right? So we've been feeling these anxiousnesses, and so the first thing that we say when we have these anxieties come to us is, deep breath in, hold it, deep breath out, slow, 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 slow. Is this mine? Is what I'm feeling, is this mine? So Stacy says she's been feeling it. Chris says 2 of her chosen kids got some gorgeous pics of the auroras all the way down as far as Kentucky. That's amazing. So, oops, I think Instagram has stalled out. What is going on? Hang on. Instagram has locked up. Why has Instagram locked up? What's going on, Instagram? Instagram? What happened? Hold, please. All right, let's try this again. See, a lot of technical glitches today, right? Sorry, Instagram. So welcome back. So a lot of technical glitches today. And so it's important that when we're feeling these energies, you can imagine the energy coming from the sun is pretty darn intense. There's a lot of it. It's very big, and it's barreling towards Earth. And for those of us who are more sensitive, it can feel like being plastered back against the wall. Like, what is that? Okay. So give yourself grace. Give yourself space. We talk about not making big decisions during retrograde. That is really a personal choice, and it really depends on where you are and who you are. Some people are not affected by the energies of retrograde in the same ways. Some people know how to keep themselves very grounded, and that's very important. But my suggestion during retrograde really is make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you get enough water. My water always has electrolytes in it because I live here in Florida where it can feel like the sun. And make sure that you are asking yourself when you start to feel anxiety or something, anger, frustration, anything, is this mine? Is this mine? And for those of you who've worked with me with muscle testing or energy sensitivity, I know I've taught this before where you can tap into your own subconscious mind by just doing this. Okay, so you take your fingers, okay, right, and you link them together, and you ask yourself, is my name Sherry? Well, you ask yourself your name, right? So I say, is my name Sherry? Yes, it's true. My name is Sherry. Is my name Fred? No, my name is not Fred. Your subconscious mind knows. Your subconscious mind sends the signals to your fingers that says, no, my name is not Fred. I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to let go. I'm not trying to hold on. I know that I'm not Fred. Am I a woman? Yes, I am. Am I a medium? Yes, I am. Am I a trapeze artist? No. No. So our inner self, our higher mind, our subconscious mind, they know the truth. And you can do it with leaning also. So I have taught many students to do this as well, where you plant your feet and you take that deep breath and you feel your energy just sit into your feet, and your feet sitting into the floor or the ground or the grass or wherever you are, and you say, is this thing that I'm feeling, is this mine? And I guarantee you, your body is going to lean in some kind of way. So before you ask yourself this question, is this mine? Ask your body to show you a yes or a no. This one's easy, because if you're holding on, it's a yes, and if you let go, it's a no. Okay? But you have to ask your body the same way you would ask a pendulum, right? Ask a pendulum, okay? Show me a yes, and the pendulum is going to start moving in some kind of way. And then show me a no, and the pendulum will start moving in a different kind of way. For some people, for a lot of people, yes is forward, and back or side to side or even circular can be a no. Okay? You can do it with a pendulum too if you like, but I like things that I don't have to. Stop, please. Hang on. I need to check my pendulum. No, I love the pendulums. I believe in pendulums. I have some beautiful things, but I need something that's going to go with me on the go, and I can do this under the table, and nobody needs to know that I'm checking in with my body, my energy field, and knowing how I'm feeling. Okay, so is this the right thing? Sometimes we get that knot in our stomach. Oh, that's not the right thing. But we don't listen because we think, oh, maybe something, what else is going on? Or, oh, I should say yes when I don't really want to say yes. So this kind of stuff, you can just do it, right, under the table. Nobody would even know. If you want to do the standing part, you can excuse yourself, go to the restroom, go outside, and allow your body to show you, because your body knows. If these things are not yours, we say, thank you. Thank you for showing me this. Thank you for holding this for the moment. If this is not mine and I don't need it, I ask you to please release it. I don't need it. It's not mine. I don't need to keep something that's not mine. I ask you to release it. Big deep breath in. Let it go. And then, we have all kind of crystals, right? So I have my labradorite, I have my selenite, we have all kind of crystals to help us clean, right? Counterclockwise cleans, right? Counterclockwise, cleans, okay, counterclockwise. I think which way my clock's going, okay? So having those resources, having those tools. Now this is going to be really, really important because the energy vibration of the country, of the planet, of the world, of all the countries, this isn't a U.S. thing, of the energy vibration of the world is going up, and that can make a lot of us feel more unsettled, especially during this time of retrograde, okay? Especially as we get towards the end of the year. All of these things that are happening right now, and I truly, truly believe this with all my heart, and it's a struggle because my left brain is like, right? But all of these things that are happening right now, there's a really planetary shift going on. There is a truly planetary shift going on where we are finally coming to a place where we are being smacked in the head every day, it feels like, with a reality that we don't want, a reality that no longer serves the higher evolution of humanity. And if you've heard me talk about humanity's evolution through the chakras and how we're in the throat chakra right now, we're coming into the time of the listening. We're coming into the time of the listening. It's starting. It's starting. Okay. And none of these things, you've heard me say this, a million times, energy is not a switch. It doesn't turn on and off. Okay. It's a slow bleed of, if you ever watch like how color seeps into cotton or a thin fabric like linen, and you put like a little dab of like blue water, and it takes a while, but we're starting to see the listening. We're starting to see the listening, and that is very, very encouraging, because all of these things, and I want to bring it back to 9/11, which I know is not a happy subject, but so many things, so many norms were disrupted and destroyed during 9/11, and the pandemic also. So many societal norms, things we took for granted, were disrupted and some destroyed during these pivotal times in our planet's history. And other things came out of it that were there because there was a space, there was a breath where the world went for a minute and something else was allowed to come in. Now, not everything that came in was great, but a lot of things that came in were great. Think of, these live broadcasts and Zoom and Skype and organizations like Meetup and things like this is an organization I really that was very pivotal in that time called People to People, that was helping connect neighbors to neighbors of who needed help. And we're seeing the resurgence of these kind of things again, where people are realizing that if they want to have help or they need help or they want to give help, that it really is in our own communities. And so if you follow my personal Facebook page, and look, if you don't want to know my politics, don't follow my personal Facebook page. But Mackenzie Scott, who was previously married to Jeff Bezos and who is a billionaire herself, has really been, and I had posted an article by her and another article about a man named Julius Rosenberg. It wasn't Rosenberg, Julius Rosen something, who was a Jewish millionaire in the turn of the century in the early 1900s. And he also believed, as Mackenzie Scott, that if you have, what is it, the saying, if to whom much is given, much is expected. And so Mackenzie Scott has been giving away millions and millions of dollars. But one of the things that she was talking about in this article was how the neighborhood organizations are raising so much money because neighbors want to help neighbors. People are starting to be connected. People are starting to listen to each other. We're starting to come together. And so these things, while they're not making big news and they're not loud screaming about, Epstein or hurricanes or whatever, they're happening and people are listening. People are connecting back with each other, and these things are very important. The people who were needing food help because Thanksgiving is coming and SNAP benefits have been disrupted are not standing there going, well, are you blue? Are you red? Are you American? Are you not? They're saying, how can we help? And so there is a listening that is starting in the grassroots levels. Now, where it goes from here is part of all of us. How do we all move forward? How do we choose to move forward? How do we choose to be involved? And this is one of the conversations that I have with you all at the end of every calendar year is, what have you accomplished for your own personal goals, personal, not necessarily professional, but for your humanness? What did you accomplish, or what are you accomplishing this year, calendar year, and what is it that you would like to do, be, accomplish? How do you want to show up? in the new year, right? So this is where we're starting to listen. So as we go forward, and things are loud, and they're loud out there, but I'm asking you to look maybe a little down here to what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in your community, where you can be involved in helping some other people. It doesn't have to be about politics, but how can you help? How can you show up and spread your light? And it could be, maybe you just donated 20 bucks. Maybe I keep a box of cereal bars in my car all the time. This was something we started to do decades ago in Los Angeles, because there was a very large homeless population in Los Angeles while we lived there 25 years ago. And so when people would come to the car window, if I felt that this was a person in genuine need, I would offer a cereal bar. And it was something that I could do. I didn't always have cash, and we pay for things on our phones or on our watches. We don't have necessarily cash on our hands, all the time. Some people do, some people don't. But a cereal bar is something that I could put in my car that wasn't going to go bad, it wasn't going to melt, it wasn't going to, get whatever rotten in the heat or the cold. And so that's something that I have always done, is to keep cereal bars, granola bars in my car. Okay. What is something that's just a little thing that you can do? So when I do my weekly grocery delivery, I just say, oh, let me throw an extra box of cereal bars in there. Okay? So what is something, because we're starting to see, again, this listening. And, when I have the time, and admittedly it's not as often as I like, but when I have the time, if I'm out and I see someone who is asking for help on the side of the street or what have you, and I'll ask them, what is your situation? Because no one ever asks. What is your situation? What is your story? Because no one ever asks. They either look past, or they, hand some money or a cereal bar and they go along. And admittedly, sometimes that's the situation because the light turned green and I don't have time, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, look how great I am. I'm talking about little things where we can be increasing the energy around the listening. Okay? And even if you don't want to invest your energy and get your energy involved in that, that's fine. It's simple enough to say, praying for you. Blessings to you. I hope things turn around. I hope the day is well. I hope the day is better. And here in Florida, we're always grateful for mild weather, because in the summer it can be super hot, and I always feel for folks out there, who are standing out in that heat. Okay, so this is about where can we collectively listen more? Where can we look at how we want to show up in the world in the coming year, and looking and taking stock at what is going on in our bodies. Is this mine? Can I let this go? If it's not mine, I don't need it. Okay? That's not my circus, not my monkeys, right? So these are things to help us keep our energy clean and clear and open and grounded and filled with love and light, so that we can be more able to listen to what's going on around us. We can hear those things of the anxiety or the joy, and we can still ask, is this mine? Because as much as I don't want to hold on to the anxiety or the grief or the anger or the resentment or whatever it is that's not mine, I don't want to hold on to the joy either. And that may sound counterintuitive, because we could all use a little extra joy, right? I can appreciate the joy, but I don't want to hold on to something that's not mine, because that puts a little cord attachment, and I don't want that. Okay, so even the stuff that is positive, I'm like, oh, so thank you very much for showing me that. You can go now. Okay, so I'm not holding on to the positive either, because with positive, it can be very easy to, we can get dependent on other people's positive energies. Now we are the energy vampire, right? Now we're the bad guys. We don't want that. We own ourselves. We have the power to create, cultivate, and find and lift the positive love, light energy within us. And it is our responsibility to our own self, to our higher self, to our purpose for coming to incarnate on this planet, to find that spark of joy, of light and love, because that is who we are. We are the spark of divine light and love that has come into human form through the energy. This is still all energy, okay? So we can choose to stay in the negative, to hold on to things that are not ours, or we can choose to hold on to our things that are positive, that are filled with joy and love and light. and build our spark of divine light and love. Build that, hold that higher, and allow that to expand and to help to bless others. Because when we can stay in that energy for ourselves, now we're much more able to listen, to be able to say, what do I need to know out here? And I don't think I've said this in a while, but my thing that I say every single morning is, what do I need to know today for my highest and best good to help myself move forward on my path and to help others as well? That is what I say every single day. What do I need to know today for my highest and best good to help myself move forward on my path and to be a blessing to others? What do I need to know today to move myself forward on my path for my highest and best good and to be a blessing for others? Doesn't matter which order, it's all the same words. Okay? What is it that you can do today for your highest and best good to help you move forward on your path so that you can be a blessing to yourself and to others? That is the question. So, with all the things that are going on with Mercury retrograde and solar flares and northern lights and supermoons and the end of the year and governments doing whatever governments are doing, what can you do to help keep yourself feeling more settled and to be an instrument of divine light and love for yourself and for others, to move yourself forward on your path for your highest and best good, to be a blessing to yourself and others? Powerful words. Powerful words. It's very interesting. It says I'm shuffling the cards, which you may or may not be able to hear. One card pops out, and it is the Awakening card. The Awakening card, and this card is number 5. Isn't that very interesting? So here's what's very interesting about this card. So as above, as below, number 5 tells us we're on the right track, we're on the path, we're moving forward, we're about halfway there, and it tells us that we're coming to the apex of the journey, right? We're not there yet, we're not quite there yet, but we're coming to the top. We're coming to that place, that crossroads, that place where we are able to say, where's the shift? Where's the shift, right? So we are starting to see things to shift. And that is the part that we want to hold on to, right? That's the part we want to hold on to. All right, let's get into some cards for the collective, and then we'll do some individual cards after that, okay? And I am traveling this week, but I will be back for next Monday, so unless something goes terribly wrong, or not even terribly wrong, I expect to be here next Monday, so not to worry. All right, so what do we need to know? What else do we need to know about what's going on in the world right now? And this is upside down, but this is the compassion card, and this is number 12. So 1 and 2 is 3. We know from 1 and 2, we know from the number 3 that there's more to that story to be revealed, and we also know that there is this awakening with number 3 as well, that we're waking up to something else, that something more is coming. And so this is the compassion card, which is still showing as upside down, which means we've got some work to do to bring this back around to the front, okay, to bring this back around to right side up. So it tells us this is what our task is. This is where we are right now, is we're working on compassion. And when we're working on compassion, we're also working on listening, because compassion and listening go hand in hand, okay? We can't have compassion for other people if we have not listened to what's going on. Okay, there's no way to be blind and compassionate, and I don't mean blind, I mean metaphorically. Okay, there's no way to keep our head in the sand and be compassionate. Okay, the only way that we have compassion is by listening. So I'm telling you, it's starting to shift. It's starting to shift. That doesn't mean we're not going to see more garbage and more negativity and more before we're done. Okay, it doesn't mean that, because remember, think of that blue water on a white fabric. It is a very slow bleed. Okay, but it's starting. Okay, what else do we need to know about this situation? This is the card Sanctuary. Now this is very interesting because we haven't had this card very much. I don't know that we've pulled this card with this deck, and this is 43. Okay, so 4 tells us, right, we're supported, 4 legs of the chair or the table, and 3 again, we just had talked about 3, about there's more to that story, but this is 4 and 3 makes 7 with this beautiful Sanctuary card, and 7 tells us there is a change in direction. 7 tells us there is change in direction that is coming our way, and you can see the light is coming in from above. You can see the doves are flying around, the light is coming, okay? This is a dark space. Okay, we're looking down, but the light is coming. And 7 tells us there is a change in direction. There is a change in the direction that is coming our way. Okay. Now, where are the places that we could have some hiccups with any of this stuff? And that is acceptance. That is acceptance. And this is interesting because this is card number 2. Okay. So card number 2 says, hey, look, this is a new journey. We're heading in, you know, off on new horizons. And you can see her having her Titanic moment here at the bow of the ship. I'm flying, right? Little Kate Winslet up there. But look at the gorgeous sun and the light behind her. The sky is lit up. The water is so calm you can't tell whether she's floating through the clouds or she's floating on the water. This is such a clear and calm sea that she's in, or she's flying through. She might be flying through the stars because you can see the stars up here. But this is a card about power. This is a card about the light being behind us, pushing us forward. And this is a card, her arms are open, okay? She's not being like, I'm not accepting. This card is right side up. This is a card that says, bring it. I'm ready. I'm tired of all this nonsense. Bring it. We're ready. We're ready. That's what this card says. And especially being number 2, it says, I'm ready. Okay, got my pair. Okay, I know I'm not alone in this journey. I've got my pair, and I know whether that's a person, whether that's spirit, whether that's your tree, whether that's God, we are not alone. 2 tells us we do not walk alone, right? Like footprints on the sand. 2 tells us we do not walk alone. But this card tells us we're ready. We're ready for the journey. Bring it on. That is everything that she's saying in that moment is bring it on. Okay, so we have this time of awakening that is very, very, very much happening. And we have compassion that we are working on through our listening, right? And through that, we have this change in the direction of the light is coming through, that we are the sanctuary for others. We have the ability to listen, to provide help for ourselves, for others. And the more that we do that, those ripples go out and the color bleeds, and pretty soon everything is looks very different, okay? And we have this awakening time that says, hey, bring it on. We're ready to go. We are ready for this change. We are ready for this 5D density. We are ready for the 12 strands of DNA. We are ready for this shift. We are ready to move to new levels of existence, right? We're not hungry to stay in this 3D, 5D, down here on earth. We're ready for something more. We know there's something more, and we're ready to receive that, okay? It is a time of change. Change is coming, but it's good change. It's slow, but I truly believe that things are waking up to a new way of being as the things and the norms that we've counted on for so long are shifting away and being removed or dying or some places destroyed, that new things are growing and being revealed in their place. And so, I can't even believe it. Okay, truly can't. I mean, of course I can believe it. So here we are. Here are our Malachim cards, our Israel, English, Hebrew, English, and Arabic thought idea cards. It is acceptance and tranquility. Acceptance and tranquility. When I turned over that acceptance card, I almost dropped my jaw on my chest. Acceptance and tranquility. Because did we not just have acceptance? Bring it on. Bring it on. Here we are. We're ready. Okay? Acceptance and tranquility. Okay? Because when we are in acceptance, that the world and humanity is waking up and going in the direction that it needs to go in for right now, we will have peace in our hearts, which allows us to continue to raise the vibration, continue to spread the light and the love. Okay? Acceptance and tranquility. Oh, my goodness. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. I hope that was, y'all are super quiet in the comments, so hopefully I'm not missing anything, and maybe you're just mesmerized. Well, all right, we're going to take a breath, sip of water. If you're ready for a card of your own, put that in the comments for me, and let's take care of it. All right. Who's first? All right, we're going to start on Instagram, even though I know she put in the request a little bit ago. I see Fatima has put in, Fatimanu has put in a request. So we have a card for you. This is upside down. This is purification. This is 41. So this is 5. Okay, you've heard me talk about 4, you've heard me talk about 1. This is upside down, this card purification. Okay, so this is telling me there's some place where you're still holding on to things that no longer serve you, that it's time for you to let go of some of those things, to allow yourself to be washed clean, to turn this card right side up so that you are finding your way back into the light and into this waterfall. I'll tell you, when I was in Mexico a week and a half ago, we went to this waterfall, we hiked up to this waterfall, and I stood in the waterfall and I let the water come down on my crown chakra, and it was so powerful to feel this clear, purifying, clarifying energy just cleaning the chakra. And then I sat and I let it roll down my neck and my shoulders, and I leaned up against this sheet of rock, and I just leaned as the water came down behind us, and I felt it in my back heart as well to be clean. So this is talking about allowing yourself to be washed clean, okay? That you're still holding on to these things that don't belong to you, that you're holding on to worrying about fixing things for others or things from the past, and this is saying it's time for you to allow yourself to be washed clean. Okay? All right. So, let's see. All right. So we've got Sharon. Sharon. All right. So here is Sharon. So this is upside down. This is power. So this card is number 40, so another 4. So Sharon, this is power. This is the big elephant, okay? So this is upside down. It's telling us that you are not stepping into your power just yet. You're not leading by the people who are trying to follow you, who are trying to see what you're going to do next. You are blazing the trail. You are the one who is leading the pack. You are blazing the trail. And this is 40, so you know you're being supported, right? That number 4. But so this is this 40, and so they're saying, hey, listen, you have a lot more power. You're the leader. You are leading by example. We're behind you. We're following. Please, where are we going? Where are we going? Well, good luck. Hey, it's okay. He'll be back. So where are we going? So Sharon, this is a question for you, especially as we're coming into this new year time. Where are we going? Okay. So, all right, let's go. Stephen. All right, Stephen. All right, so Scott is just observing. Stephen, we've got healing. Very interesting. Healing. So 2 and 7 is 9. So interesting because change in direction, right? Very interesting because of some of the stuff we just had talked about before. So we have 2, so we have that pair, right? Very strong that it's in the first number position. 7 is that change in direction number, which is interesting because we talked about that as well. But there's healing in this. And it's very interesting because so often I feel like your cards, Stephen, show up as confirmation cards of things you already know because you are so tapped in. But this is the healing card that says, hey, listen, we're going to dance, we're going to celebrate, we've got some joyous things. And we had talked about you letting go of that energy, you letting go of those things that had been sitting on that ceiling for a while. And so this is a real confirmation card that says, okay, we know these things are coming to an end. We're going to celebrate. And I think we had even talked about popping some champagne and celebrating what's going to be those next steps. And so that's what's going on here. So, and it's very interesting because they're not even dancing in the rain. They're simply just dancing and celebrating. So this healing is coming. There is this change in direction, and the change in direction is coming. And I know that that's something that we had discussed the other day as well. So this is I really want to say that this is a confirmation card for you, but I do also want to say that this is something to keep your ears open because it feels like there's still some things that are developing and to be made clear for you, okay? So keep your ears open. All right, so Scott's just observing. We have Ellen and Chris, and did I skip Stacy? Oh, dear. I see you now, Stacy. All right, we're gonna get you in there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right. So Ellen, this is upside down. This is abundance. So this card is number 1, and this is abundance. Okay. So Ellen, someplace where you've got a lid on your thinking, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. So someplace where you have this lid on your thinking, or your lid on what's you feel like is available to you. Because if you look at all the beautiful balloons and this beautiful blue sky, and it's like gorgeous, mountains out there, and this is going to be a great place to, take your hot air balloon, and they're all out there, but here's you, bunk, bunk, banging your head on the ceiling, right? Bunk, bunk, because there's a lid on what you feel like is available to you or what you're allowing yourself to be made available to you. And so they're talking about this being upside down. They're saying, hey, listen, Ellen, there's so much more on the table for you if you can open your eyes and allow yourself to ask for it or even just visualize it, see it, believe it, just know that there's something more for you. So there's definitely not what is this face that you've put for me? Is this a sad face that you've put for me in your comment of having a card? So this is really about tapping into a higher energy and tapping into a different shift in belief system, Ellen, to know that there is something more that's trying to make its way to you, but it's going to be a leap of faith for you to say, okay, I'm going to step out and allow myself to come out from under that canopy so that I can float higher. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, because there is this space that says, we're trying to help you, will you let us in? Okay. All right. So Chris Judd. Okay. Healing energies to our Chris Judd, because she is, still healing from her shoulder surgery. It's been maybe almost a week, 10 days, about 10, 12 days. Okay. So healing energies toward Chris, please. And anybody else who needs them, healing energies. So card for Chris. This is upside down. This is card 29. So 2, again, that pair number in the first position and the 9, coming to the end of a journey. 29, 30, 31. 3 and 1 is 4. Being supported. Inspiration. This is inspiration. It's upside down. Okay. So you are absolutely inspiration to other people right now. This is about, again, healing. Hang on. I have to go on. Sorry, my husband started feeding the pets in the kitchen, and my little dog Bo in the drawer was like, let me out. All right, so Chris, you are an inspiration for so many people. And for all of you people who maybe don't know Chris's story, let me just tell you, the woman is amazing. The things that she has overcome would leave the rest of us laying on the floor. So there is a place for you to be an inspiration, but right now this is, again, this time for healing. And I love this image because this is about letting the light come in to heal and lift you. Letting the light come in to heal and lift you. So you had talked earlier today in something, I think a Facebook comment that I saw in a different group that we're in, about reading and just absorbing right now. And so this is what they're talking about. Okay, don't try to do it all right now. Let yourself be inspired. Let yourself to take the light in. Okay. For right now, this is what they're saying is Chris's job is to take the light in. Okay. So this is another card that we saw last week too that says shit and shush and be, absorb, receive. And I know that's not always easy for us, right? To receive. So right now, sit, shush, receive, right? Receive the light, receive the love, receive the healing energy. Okay? All right. Sharon says, I'm getting ready to flee Pennsylvania for Florida. Awesome. Welcome. We're always happy when you come back. All right, Stacy and Stephen. So it was very nice to see you in person the other day, and I love when your cards, Stephen, come through so confirmational for the things that we talk about. So Stacy. All right, we have got we have enthusiasm for Stacy. Lots of butterflies. Now, I had the privilege of meeting Stacy in person at Spirit Fest last weekend, and what a joy. Absolutely what a joy. And enthusiasm is a perfect card for you. This is card 18. So it says, 1 in the primary position, it says you are standing strong in yourself. 8 is that infinity symbol, right? That tells you have all the time in the world, you have all the knowledge, you have all the skills, you have everything that you need is with you and inside you. And the 1 and the 8 together is 9. So we are coming to the end of a chapter. You're coming to the end of a road, Stacy, for new blessings and new chapters that are coming your way. So Stacy, this is about being open to receive the new blessings and abundance that are coming, because look at all the butterflies, all these gorgeous, gorgeous butterflies that are coming your way. So please stay open to the possibilities of new things that are trying to come to you, and to just keep that energy open to receive it. Okay, there's definitely a new journey coming for you in the new year, and it just feels like there's so much light around it, and that your light and enthusiasm is going to really help to bring this into focus and to help lift others along the way. I have to say something else as well, something about being an example to others, and I know I had mentioned this with Sharon as well, but there's some piece about you being an example that people are looking to you, they're looking at you to see how you're reacting to situations, situations, and they're taking their clues from you. So take that quite seriously, because you are a positive example, and for many people, you are the light that they are counting on. And it's not to put a pressure on you, it's just that they're saying, oh, if Stacy's okay, then we're okay too. So you're a guide, you're a lighthouse for other people, and that's what a gift, what an absolute gift. Yes, Chris Judd, I do know how very much you hate the sit, the shush, and the receiving. And it's kind of like the thing about patience, right? When do we learn patience? I don't freaking know, right? Okay, because we learn patience by being forced to be patient. It is infuriating, and we know. Nobody likes to sit and to shush. When I was pregnant with my younger son, who just left the door for his soccer game, he's about to be 25 years old. When I was pregnant with him, I got bed rest for 6 weeks. And there was a time before I got bed rest for 6 weeks when I thought, wouldn't it be so amazing if you literally had nothing to do and you couldn't do anything except sit and read and watch movies and lay around? And wouldn't that be awesome? And after about 20 minutes, I was like, ah! So we all know, right? We all know. And so I know you hate the sit and the shush and the receive. I know. And I know that there's all the people that are trying to help you that are not doing it the way you would want to do it, or that you would want it done. But it's more important that the thing is getting done, even if it's not getting done the proper way, the Chris way right now. It's getting done and you don't have to do it. Okay? And so we say thank you, thank you, thank you, even when it's not being done the way I would be doing it, and that is okay, because at least it's not a thing you have to worry about right now. Okay? Awesome. Stacy, you are so welcome. All right, let's grab one more card for everyone to finish it up. And so this is upside down also. This is the Pegasus horse. This is breakthrough. Interesting. This is number 9. So this is upside down. Pegasus horse number 9. And this is the breakthrough that says there is something coming for all of us. There is something wonderful, something shifting. There is more coming for all of us, and it is our job to hold on to that. It is our job to believe in that, and it is our job to keep pulling on it so it gets here. Okay, our job is not to sit back and go, oh, something wonderful is coming, I wonder what it is. Our job is to get involved. Our job is to be part of the something wonderful that's coming. Our job is to be part of the breakthrough so that we turn the card from upside down to right side up. There is an end of a chapter coming. We know this. This is a 9-year. 2025 is a 9-year. Things are ending. Things are shifting, and things are going to look different as we go forward, as we continue to go forward. Again, it's not going to be like a snap, but things are shifting. And for us, in the community of light, in any community of light, mine, somebody else's, whoever's, we who are in the light, it is our calling, our responsibility, our part to just be part of it. Okay? It's like Christmas lights, holiday lights. They are strung in a row, and if one breaks, the whole thing won't light up. It's so important that we all stay connected, we stay engaged, we stay in compassion and listening and love. Right? And so I will leave you with that. I look forward to seeing you next week after my trip and before Thanksgiving, and we'll have a wonderful time next Monday. And always, always remember how very much you are loved. You are. And I hope you have a fabulous week. And I'll see you next week.